So I've got this 4-point system that I've been running, and it's working really quite well. I mean, I started with just a 1-point, moved to a 2-point, 3-point, now I'm at a 4-point system, which I like a lot. So the first thing is, come fall, I put a lot of leaves down. I talked about that in my last video. Go ahead and check it out. It's pretty interesting there. That was the very first thing I ever did to start improving my soil, and it made a noticeable difference the very first year after I did a nice heavy layer of leaves across the garden before snowfall. So leaves in the fall, but over the winter and early spring, while there's still ice and snow on the ground especially, I'm going to be running the chickens in their mobile pens in here. That is, just so you know, I have my chicken tractor, but I also have a dog kennel, chain link movable dog kennel that just has chicken wire across the top, and that's my other mobile chicken pen. But those are going to be running across here, depositing manure. And once that's done, I'm going to be going through any compost that I have, compost or manure, and just spreading it all across the whole place nice and even, about 3 to 4 weeks, maybe even a little longer than that, before planting. After the planting season's done, I'm going to come out here and run the pigs through. That's what we got going on now. Those pigs have added, in this plot here, which is less than 1/8 of an acre, they've added, I mean, shucks, it's probably a 1/16 acre here. They've added about 900 pounds of organic matter from their manure to the soil here, and they've really helped to tear up all, this was corn, so they tore up all the corn stubble, just dug it up really good. They like to chew on it, gnaw on it for some reason, mix it into the dirt so it decomposes well. So, yeah, they've added about 900 pounds of organic matter to the soil. The corn stubble out here and some tomato stubble from the tomato plants out here was probably about another 400 pounds of organic matter, dry organic content. We'll be putting about 12, 13 or so 100 pounds of compost out here today. And I have no idea what dry weight worth of leaves we put out here. I've never actually measured that, but I mean, we're talking, plus the chicken manure, I probably got about 200 pounds worth of chicken manure that we put out here in the spring. So we're talking like well over 2,000 pounds of highly fertile organic content on like maybe a 1/16 of an acre here. I like those pigs. They're just kind of lounging and nosing around. Yeah, they're pretty cool. So yeah, we're really building up this soil. It's getting fantastic out here, but I got to get to it. So let me show you a little bit more about my composting, since I'm putting extra compost out here this year due to the fact that I didn't cover crop. Well, I was going to go straight to compost, but apparently some of the pigs decided they were hungry, so I must have not fed them enough this morning. So I'm going to give them their Jerusalem artichokes for a snack. These things are wonderful. Try to pick around. I'm trying to save the bigger ones for planting in the spring again. So look for the smaller ones for the pigs. These things are fantastic. Yeah, I recommend these to anyone who wants to grow a good crop, easy to grow food crop or animal feed. The Jerusalem artichokes, the sunchokes. Anyway, let's get back to pigs and compost. Here, guys, you want one? You want it? Why do you always sniff it? I don't have corn today. Just take it. Here. Here you go. No corn today. Not now, anyways. There you go. Go ahead and eat them. The boars are hungrier than the sows, huh? That I should do for now. All right. Compost. Like the corn cobs, we don't want those. They're not broken down yet. I don't actually turn my compost pile. I know it would break down a lot faster if I did, but frankly, with the amount of material I'm working with here, and I don't have a tractor or anything to do that kind of work, I'm not going to bother mixing it and turning it. It's just too time consuming, really. It'll break down still good enough. It'll take a little longer, but I'm okay with that. I'm just digging out from the sides and the bottom a little here. But yeah, I mean, if I had a tractor, I'd turn the compost, but that's not worth getting a tractor for. So This works.
I don't have a handle on mine like you.
I know, because it's a smaller shovel. You don't need a loop on the end. So yeah, we're just digging out about a yard of this here to sprinkle over in the plot off to the side.
Can I just see a minute?
Yep, go ahead. Here, I'm going to open it up a little more here. Move some of this a bit. Hello, Rebecca. Did you come to help?
But she doesn't have a shovel or anything.
Okay. This straw isn't broken down all the way, but it's good enough, so I'll still take it. Yeah, some of this stuff isn't, I mean, like this old straw here, it's not, I mean, it's still at least halfway intact, but it'll finish breaking down under the snow. We got time. Be a good few months under the snow before any planting's due. And in the meantime, that'll still really work to hold the dirt together. I'll just kind of bust it loose and break it up a little. Like that. Yeah. Let's get a bit more here. We need that organic. Fill her right up, Esther.
I did it! I did it, Daddy!
Good job. Your sister's talking to her chickens again. Now this is basically just your standard old sized wheelbarrow. It holds about 6 cubic feet. If you pile it up high, this one's not quite that full. So I'll be doing about 1 yard worth of compost, about 1,200 pounds or so worth of a good compost out here. And that'll be about 6 wheelbarrows full. So quite a lot here. I mean, if you consider that I religiously leave as much plant matter and stubble in the dirt as I can, and by my estimates, I haven't measured, but I estimate about 400 pounds of plant matter I put back into this dirt with the help of the pigs. Now that alone is something that some farmers think is enough, but I mean, I'm not berating anybody for their systems, but going above and beyond that, some of this didn't break down well, but going above and beyond that, I mean 400 pounds, adding another 1,200 pounds or so worth of compost and another 900 pounds worth of pig manure approximately, and a couple hundred pounds worth of chicken manure in the spring out here, plus leaves and anything else I can gather throughout the summer. That's how you build up soil. You really have to think in terms of putting more than just your crop residue back into the soil. I mean, if I only used the corn stubble and tomato plant residue that was from the plants out here, if that's all that went back into the dirt, then honestly, it's probably not enough to build up the soil. I mean, especially without doing a cover crop, no, that's just going to probably end up degrading my soil, really. And I can't have that. This dirt was so bad when I moved in here, I could hardly grow anything. I've improved it to the point where it's moderately naturally fertile now. I don't want to go back on that. The whole point of all this, all the organic matter, the function of organic matter in the soil is that it holds on to the fertility that you put down there, whether naturally created fertility or your artificial fertility, your synthetic fertilizers and that kind of thing. It also encourages a much higher production of natural fertility through the mycorrhizal fungi and, oh, we got trash, and the good soil bacteria, earthworms, all those things that work together and build up the natural organic production in the soil. But I mean, the black part of this, the carbon, your humic acid, the humus in the compost and the organic matter, it bonds with the fertilizer chemicals, natural or otherwise, and then releases them very slowly over a matter of time. So when I put a lot of organic matter like this in the dirt, I have to balance it out with some extra nitrogen, a little extra potassium. It's already usually high enough in phosphorus, or at least close to it. But I've got to balance it out with at least some nitrogen, probably magnesium, and a little calcium too. Because this stuff is going to soak up a lot of the fertilizer ingredients right in the beginning, like a sponge. I mean, you're filling up a sponge basically, or filling up a savings account in the soil with your fertilizer. So when you're applying a lot of organic, it can, especially if your organic matter is more empty stuff, it can take up a lot more nitrogen, soak it right up out of the soil for a while until it's full and it starts releasing on its own down the road. So sometimes that's a thing. Now I don't have it all finished. I still got another 2, maybe even 3 loads to put on over here. But I'll take a look at what I got going back here now. That's about, I know the lighting's not great out here today, it's so cloudy, but this is about what I like to see. It doesn't have to be every single piece of dirt covered, but I want to see just a nice blanket across there, heavier than your average manure spreader is going to put this stuff out. So make the dirt look much blacker here for the day. Some of it down here is already drying out a little bit, so it's a little lighter colored. But yeah, just a nice heavy coating. Try not to leave too many bare spots. Yeah, like that. All right, so yeah, this part's almost done. But this whole side here, it's another 1/8 of an acre ready to go over here that needs work today. And I still got to clear out back there. Boy, that's going to be a pain. Finish clearing out the brush and the stumps. Anyways, I got more work to do, so I'll let you guys go. Good luck, take care of your soil, and I'll see you later. Bye now.